Hi everybody, it's Kristin and I have a total rehaul for you. It has been a really long time since I've done one of these. If you are new to a total rehaul, first of all, welcome. Second of all, this is a video that I will do. I'll go back and pick a haul that's been, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 months ago. It's kind of depending on what I choose that day. And pull all the products and I will come to you and talk to you about them. The reason that I do this, and I'm not the only one that does these sort of videos, but the reason that we do these is that some of these products might end up in favorites or fails, but a lot of them just maybe are kind of like, meh, or maybe it is a product I really liked and I forgot to talk about it, or it's a product I've never used, and we can talk about that as well. All right, so having said all of that, let's go ahead and get into it. This is a haul from April. I believe it was a two-parter, and this is part 1. I will list the original haul below for you, as well as my papers flying off here, as well as the total rehaul playlist. I'm pretty sure I have one of those. So the first thing on there was this Revlon curling wand, and I know this has made it into favorites. I found this on Amazon. It just has like a straight barrel and then a tapered barrel, and you just choose whichever one. I do still like this. What's funny is that I had this in the favorites and then I think we moved, and I don't think that I have used it much since then. So I need to pull this back out again and start packing it. Oops, I dropped one of the little things for travel. I think it was $30. I felt it was very affordable, and I've been very happy with it as much as I've used it. Like I said, I used it a ton. One of my favorites, and then I don't know, we moved and I haven't used it since. So, all right, the next thing was some products from Boots number 7 or number 7. I'm not really sure. The first one, I don't have this anymore, is the Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Serum. Something about that didn't agree with my skin, so I can't even give you a review on the product. I passed it along to a friend to let her try. I've not heard anything from her on it, so I apologize. I can't speak to that one for you guys. The next thing was a whole bunch of Boots products, so let's talk about those. The first one was the bronzer, and I had the shade in Caramel and in Golden Sand. So the one that I felt worked best for me was Golden Sand. But even having said that, the color just isn't quite right. I am wearing it today. I don't know. It's hard sometimes to see coloring on camera, but it's not my favorite. However, as far as coloring, I feel like I'll give you a little swatch of both of these. The formula is very nice. It's very smooth. It smooths onto the skin. Doesn't look like powder on the skin. So there's the Caramel, and then there is the, what was it, Golden something. Yeah, Golden Sand. And I think even here you can just see the undertone just doesn't quite work with my skin. So I did use these enough, both of them enough, to say that I like the formula, I like the product, the coloring just wasn't for me. So these are ones that, this is kind of what I'm doing now. I'm not gonna just shove it back in my drawer. I'm gonna pass it on to somebody who I think will use them. Okay, the next are 2 shades of lipstick. And there are 4 lipsticks total, but 2 from the Stay Perfect lipstick. There's Dark Berry and Cinnamon Spice. I don't know for sure that I've worn both of these in a video, but these are very nice. You have to be very careful when you put them on. They have a lot of slip to them, but interestingly enough, they do stay for a decent amount of time on your lips. But putting them on is a little bit tricky, I think, because of the way, so they're in this, it's a little bit slimmer of a packaging. Again, it looks like this. So here's the size of their other one. You can see this is a little bit longer and thinner, but they both have a very nice finish. I would call it a satin finish, and they do have a decent lasting. And this one, the Dark Berry one, yeah, the Dark Berry one, when that wears off, it's just kind of a nice stain, and so that's nice as well. I do really like the formula on those. And then I also like the formula on these 2. I'm wearing one of these today because I wanted you to see at least one of the lipsticks. I'm going to put a gloss over the top of it though, because I don't like exactly how it looks with this eye look. But these are the moisture drenched lipsticks, and what's interesting is that it's matte. You can tell that it's matte. This is the shade in Honey Bloom, so I'm going to stick it right here, and that is again what's on my lips right there. And it's interesting, it delivers moisture, but it's a matte finish. These last a couple of hours, nothing fantastic, but they're very comfortable on the lips. And then the other shade, and some of these I'm going to be wearing, you'll see these in videos more often now because I got these in spring, and some of these are real fall colors to me. This is the one in Berry Blush right here. Just really, really pretty. All right, so now I'm going to throw a lip topper on. Actually, I'm going to use the Jouer and Skinny Dip just because I feel like it'll pull a little bit more, it'll match better with this look. All right, that's better. I just love this. When I'm wearing a really warm look, I just love this over the top of whatever lip whatever lip I happen to be sporting. All right, so next on my list was the blushes, and you guys have seen me wear these a bunch in videos. I just recently wore this one in a video, I felt like, so I went ahead and threw this one on. And this is the one in Damson Mist. So I will tell you this. These are very nice blushes. They go on nicely. You can tell they kind of, you know, become part of my skin. That's a highlight though. These are both matte blushes. So they are very nice and I like them. I will say this, however, I feel like they're a little overpriced. They're $12.99, so $13, and just a little bit overpriced. So that was the one in Damson Mist, and then this is the one in Peach Velvet. We'll put that here. And these are double swatches of both of them so that you can see the color. Peach Velvet, Damson Mist. Very pretty. I like them a lot. I will absolutely keep these in my collection. I feel like they have, you know, I've worn them a lot, so I've gotten some really good use out of those, and I like them. I would suggest them. I just feel like if they run, I think those are sold at Ulta. If they run a buy one, get one 50% off or something like that, it might be a little bit better of a deal. They're just, $13 seems like a lot. All right, I had to just grab a phone call. Sorry. I feel like this video is going to be just a little bit all over the place. So the next product is the No. 7 Airbrush Away Primer. And I like this. I will tell you what it says. It says, for flawless looking skin and creating the perfect base for your foundation, this clever primer can help. Pores and fine lines appear to disappear and wrinkles are put into soft focus, leaving the skin perfectly smooth all day. I agree with that. I feel like it is very smoothing, and I don't know, I'll try to list below if there's silicone in here or not. It kind of has that feel to it, but not as strong as, say, like the Smashbox primer. I mean, that primer is like full-on silicone to me. And this doesn't feel quite like that. It's not as drying as the Smashbox primer is, and it really does give an all-over sort of smoothing effect. So I like this on occasion. I really prefer something that's a little more moisturizing. This doesn't dry my skin, but it's not moisturizing, and I like to use something that adds a little more moisture, which is why I like that Becca First Light priming filter so well. But anyway, so this is a good one. If you have kind of normal combination skin, I think you would really like this. So I would go ahead and give that a shot. I meant to look up the price of this one to see how much that was, because I will say some of the Boots products do seem to be a little bit more on the expensive side. All right, and then lastly, and definitely leastly, are the Radiant Glow Concealers. So I feel like these just disappear. I don't like this at all. So I'm going to give you, I think I had promised in that video, I'm going to give you a swatch of each of these. This is one of those sort of pump things like the Touche Clot. So this is in the shade 9 or 60. I'm going to guess 60. It's very dark, but watch this. It's gone. It just disappears. So this is the shade 10. I also don't like this about them. Even if you're very careful about putting the cap on, you cannot get, I've tried so hard to get that to not stick out like that. It drives me a little bit crazy. And then this is the shade in 30. So that's 10 and that's 30. But again, they just disappeared. There's just nothing left. So I don't recommend those at all. So if you were wondering about some of these, this is one I would skip. And lipsticks, blushes are probably the biggest hit of those products for me. All right, the next thing that I purchased, and that was the Wayne Goss face brush set. I just recently did a Wayne Goss brush video, which I will link below, and I talked about each of these brushes in there. I am very happy with this. If you're trying to decide between this and the eye set, I would absolutely pick the eye set. I think that there are more kind of unique uses with some of those eye brushes. These, a lot of, you know, like one of these could handle a bunch of different things. You don't necessarily need the whole set. Am I happy to have the whole set? Absolutely. Do I use them? You can tell that I do. The fan one, I haven't used lately, as I haven't used either one of these, but I love these. I love them on myself. I love them on other people. They work really, really well. And I just think if you're trying to decide between the two kits, the eye kit is one you might get more use out of than these ones. But I will list that video below so that you can see my more in-depth review on each of those brushes. All right, the next thing is a product I've not used, and this is the L'Oreal Voluminous Original in Cobalt. Oh, I will show you the color. I thought I had big plans for myself, and then I just haven't used it. So maybe I'll do a get ready with me at some point and use this. I don't know. It's just not something I can throw on the daily, especially if I'm traveling or whatever. I mean, you really can't show up to a customer with blue eyelashes. I'm just saying. Okay, next was my little splurge haul. I mean, we're like running the price range here from Boots, which is drugstore, to Cle de Peau. So I had been down, I'd say, had saved some money and had a little splurge at Cle de Peau. I had originally gone to the counter, I've talked about this before, to find out how to use the multi-repair oil, which I just talked about in a skincare video a couple videos back. Anyway, I went up and said, okay, so what's your most moisturizing lotion, like evening lotion? And they had suggested this one, the Intensive Fortifying Emulsion. I have to say, I do really like this. It comes out in a pump. It's very thin, but it's also very moisturizing. Normally, a really thin lotion, to me, is the first red flag. It's something that I'm gonna be like, I'm not sure if that's gonna be moisturizing enough for my dry skin. But I do really like this. I don't like the price point. It was very expensive. And I used some of it, and then I put it away because I want to see how it works in the winter. So I have set it aside, and I've been using other products to review for you guys, but I will come back to you at some point and talk about this, either in an empties or a favorites or something. I will come back after I've used this more. I'm kind of waiting till December when it starts to get really dry, because this is expensive enough that I don't want to use it in the spring and summer and be like, yep, it's amazing, it's great for dry skin, and then somebody who wants to splurge purchases it and ends up not liking it in the winter. So that's what that is about. So I love it. Right now, we're gonna wait and see what happens in the spring, or excuse me, in the fall and winter. So the next thing I had on here is the product that everybody talks about, and this is the Cle de Peau concealer. I have the shade in light, I believe. Oh, it's in ivory. It's in ivory. So this is a stick concealer, and I like this on my face, like around my nose, or like if I have a little blemish right here that I have it on, and I apply it with my finger no matter where I put it. I do not like this under my eyes at all, not even a little bit. This is really expensive. I believe it's $70-some. Way too much for a concealer that you can use on your face. If you have dryness under your eyes at all, this will take that and accentuate it. So I'm actually going to zoom you in so you can see what I'm talking about, because I used it today just so that you can see what I was talking about. Okay, so do you see right here how it gets really cakey? If a concealer does that, it is not one that I appreciate. I mean, I don't think anybody would. So this is real up close and personal, but I really wanted you guys to see what I was talking about and just see how that gets all, it just, my under eyes are in great condition. And this makes them look like I haven't used an eye cream in forever. So I don't suggest this for your under eyes if you have under eyes like mine. I don't suggest it at all. I'm disappointed. If I lived anywhere near, I bought it at Neiman's down in Oak Brook, I think, if I remember it. If I lived anywhere near, I would take it back. I'm very unhappy with that. All right, so there you go. This is probably the lip I should have worn today, but I just really wanted to show you guys the number 7 because you've seen me wear this a bunch. So this is the Cle de Peau Enriched Lip Luminizer, and it's in the shade 228. So it looks like this. Again, you guys have seen me wear this a bunch. It's just a really pretty sort of peachy with some sheen. I like it a lot. Do I like it enough to buy more shades at the cost of what they are? Absolutely not. Because when you purchase this, it's not just the color, you have to get the case too. I'll list them, all separately so you guys can go see below if you want. But I like it. I'm happy to have it. It's lovely to have, but I wouldn't get another one. But it's also one I wouldn't return. I'm happy enough with it that I wouldn't return. Now this one is, this is a tricky, it's actually called the Cle de Peau Radiant Powder Foundation. I'm in the shade B10. So this is the foundation. This alone, I can't remember exactly how much it is. Very expensive alone. And then you have to buy the compact, and then you have to buy the brush separately. It is a huge investment. I'm telling you, this is one of those times when you're sitting at the counter and they're putting stuff on you. I mean, we all fall victim to this. Don't tell me that you don't, because most of us, I should say, fall victim to this. They're putting it on, I'm like, yes, I'll take that, that, and that, and then you get to the total and you're like, really? That's what my total is? So, would I purchase this again? Oh, I don't know, because I already have the compact and the brush, so maybe. I have to say this. Okay, let's start with the brush. The brush works very well, especially for a touch-up. It's a nice, you can see it's not, sort of a chintzy sort of brush. It works really well for a quick touch-up in the car. It blends out nicely. you could use it, I would imagine, if you wanted to contour with this sort of brush. I have no issue with the brush. It's expensive. I think it was $25, but it's really, really nice. Works perfectly, obviously, in here. The case is what it is. There's not really much to review about the case. It is beautiful, and it looks nice, and it comes in a little, you know, a little velvet pouch. And the powder is absolutely lovely. So I can't say I wouldn't buy it again, because I think I probably would. I'm going to see if I can put some on my hand here so you guys can see the shade a little bit. But I hate to waste this, but I'm going to put this on my hand with the brush so you guys can see. And it's you almost can't, the proof is in the touching it, but you can see what a nice coverage it gives. Hopefully you can see, and a little luminosity. I really like it. I put it on my friend when I was traveling up in Canada with my friend Michelle. I put it on her, and it just feels so nice. And she was like, "Why did you put this on me? Now I want it." So it's a really nice. If you're wanting to splurge on a powder foundation, and you wouldn't, I think it came in a little plastic thing. You wouldn't necessarily have to get this and this. You could use any one of your other brushes to apply it, and it would be just as lovely. So I am happy with that. And it is a really nice powder, and it's really overpriced, but it is a really nice powder, and I'm happy to have it. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, is the this is a Vera Bradley. It's called the Work Tote in Classic Black. You can see it's got kind of a quilted pattern. I love this thing. This has shown up in a favorites, I'm fairly certain. I'll try to find a place below where you guys can get this. I love this for travel. Even if I have to carry both it depends on how many days I'm traveling for, what I'm taking, what I'm checking, that sort of thing, whether I will use this or my backpack. A lot of times I use my it's a work backpack, and it sometimes works a little better. I can shove my purse in the backpack easier than I can grab it when I get there, but this is so nice, and it's held up so nicely. I probably used this 5 or 6 times flying, and it looks completely brand new still. It has an inside or an outside pocket right here. You can drop whatever you need to drop into it. And then again, I mentioned this when I showed it. On the back, it has a little thing here where you can put it over your rollerboard. And inside, it has a protected padded area for your laptop. You're not gonna be able to see that. And then another section. And then it also has little pockets on the inside for, you know, cell phone, business cards, whatever you would want to put in there. So very happy with that purchase. That was hands down probably one of my best purchases of the year. So, all right, I think that is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. On the rest of my face today, I will tell you, let me grab this here. I am wearing the Cosmetics by Lines foundation. I am, like I said, working on a review for that. The liner that I used underneath the lipstick is the Charlotte Tillbury Lip Cheat in Pink Venus. The delightful highlight that you see here is the Becca highlight in Rose Gold. It's so pretty. You know what's funny is, let's have a little moment. I was using this Elizabeth Arden one, and it was called Rose Illumination. And then I used the Becca one. The Becca one just is so much better than any other highlights that I have. It just really becomes part of your skin and doesn't really sit on top. I just love it. I just thought I would say that. Okay, and then for my eyes today, I used the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I will try to, oh, I can't because the names are not here, but that's the palette that I use. I use some of the warm shades, obviously. All right, I think that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.